Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the React Podcast. Today, we are talking about breaking news where Sony has sold Sony Online Entertainment. They sold them to Columbus Nova, an investment management firm apparently well known for its success with existing technology, media, and entertainment. I've never heard of them, but let me share who I have with me today. I have Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, guys?
I've got Richard Bailey.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Word. So this is big news, guys.
Oh, it's huge. I mean, for Sony to not keep investing in SOE, which they started in the '90s, and they have big titles coming. Like, I was really looking forward to PlanetSide 2, man. And now that's in question. I mean, the potential revenue for the next EverQuest, I mean, to just go as sell it, I mean, they must be hurting for money more than we even thought.
Yeah. There have been a lot of things happening, like just in small increments lately, like the Vita dropping the YouTube integration and things like that, and then they sell off such what I felt was such a defining feature for Sony. Honestly, I thought that SOE kind of made them stand out from the rest of the crew. How about you, Rich?
Well, I definitely think it's a big deal considering all the games that are now in question. I know you mentioned PlanetSide. What about EverQuest? This is supposed to be a major game that's dropping, I guess, sometime this year or next. So it leaves a lot up in the air. The statement that I read said that everything will still go as operated. But I'm not fully sure I understand exactly how that's going to work.
Yeah, they always say that. when anything like this happens, they say,
nothing will
just go. Nothing's going to change. Everything will be fine. But just to throw out a few of the titles that they're responsible for, like we've mentioned a couple, but EverQuest, EverQuest 2, The Matrix Online, PlanetSide, Star Wars Galaxies, Free Realm, DC Universe, and PlanetSide 2, which, like Chris said, I was looking forward to that big time. So, do y'all think that this is... Do you think that there are going to be big news like this happening going forward, like with Sony selling off more assets?
Well, I think so. I think they're trying to streamline and focus the gaming part of themselves as much as possible, and they don't have a lot of they probably don't have a lot of capital to work with. So this is one of the things we'll see. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they start selling off other studios or just mothballing them. I mean, I don't know what the Santa Monica guys are doing. I don't know what their other arms are doing in terms of PlayStation. But I'm worried, because I used to play DC Universe Online on PS3. They may just discontinue that now because who knows what this new company, Columbus Nova, is going to want to focus on. Who knows if they're going to be like, we're not too keen on EverQuest, but we're like. H1Z1 because everyone loves zombies. I don't know what is the future for these things, and I don't know what if they're gonna drop support for Sony and just make PC only, or if the Sony stuff's gonna continue and stuff's gonna be multi-plat, or everything's gonna be multi-plat. I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough. You gotta wonder, what the new direction is gonna be. And Jake James just joined in. Hello, sir.
What's going on, gentlemen? How you guys doing?
Doing well. We're just kind of getting everyone's opinions, just brief early opinions on how this may affect things for SOE. You got any statements?
In all honesty, I think it's something to know as far as being aware of it. I don't think it's anything like a super severe impact though.
Really?
Because here's the thing, SOE, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some of the games that they actually were really known for and what they were really kind of notable for was games that were MMOs, that were like EverQuest, PlanetSide, etc.
Right.
Remember that Sony a while back for the PlayStation 4 tried to make PlanetSide a really big thing. That was another MMO coming to consoles and such, but you really didn't hear much about it afterwards. Like the only MMOs that I know of that were console or on consoles that had any sort of a heavy notoriety that were talked about constantly were Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn and DC Universe Online.
Okay.
Like those, other than that, SOE's, those other games and stuff, they do have their audiences and their followings and their player base and such. But this news isn't like, the Messiah's complex of like World of Warcraft coming to consoles.
Well,
You know
no,
what I mean?
because I mean, World of Warcraft is the biggest MMO,
It's the
period.
biggest
So,
MMO of all time at this point. You know what I mean? But I think it's cool. It's interesting. I think now that those types of those MMOs won't be limited to one console, one base for the most part. They'll be able to kind of diversify themselves, to put themselves in different ecosystems and such. But again, it's not like you have to throw on red alert.
See, I disagree. I actually think this is a pretty big issue. Our commenters on our post won't allow us to be fans of multiple consoles. So I guess in their eyes, I would be considered a Sony fanboy. Now,
Sony pony.
yeah, I'm a Sony pony. So usually when I have the discussion, I don't have both systems. I couldn't afford to buy both of them, and I just didn't have a desire to. And then part of my argument for why I wanted the Sony console, SOE was actually a big part of that. PlanetSide was a big deal. It is a big deal on PC, and I thought that was going to be fantastic for consoles, and it also added some value to like the PlayStation Plus and stuff like that. Even though actually with PlanetSide, I think you can actually play that online without PlayStation Plus, just like with Warframe or something like that. But I thought that was a really big deal because that was a discerning feature for
Can't
PS.
you also do that also with
Xbox.
DC Universe Online? Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, Universe could play online without PlayStation
Not
Plus.
Plus, yeah.
Yeah, and that just added value to the console. They had these big MMOs that were free to play even, that you don't have to pay online to play. And the MMO market already hasn't, become a staple for consoles because of the controls. It doesn't work as well. But I feel like A Realm Reborn kind of opened up the door to things getting a lot better because it controlled really, really well. Plus, PlanetSide is a first-person shooter. Just about everyone knows how to control one of those. They're going to be perfectly fine. But I don't know. I think this is going to hurt them a lot more than what you said. I don't think this is just going to be a drop in the pond. This is kind of a big deal. Without this, Sony's going to just look just like any other developer, or not developer, but any of the big three. It's just going to be another Xbox, basically.
You know something? To kind of piggyback off of that a little bit, I think that maybe I don't know if I necessarily agree too much that it's really going to hurt them all that much. It does look a little bit disappointing, and it makes them look like a little bit silly because I feel like if Sony had maybe gone behind them, given them whether it was more resources or more finances, a little bit more, and actually kind of like help them out to develop something a little bit much more better, or put maybe a little bit much more better marketing campaign for these types of games and such, it'd probably be a lot more of a bigger deal to me, or at least I would take a lot more note of it.
I would think that this was a long time in the planning because I remember SOE used to put out user base numbers for all their games. They used to be like, oh, Free Realms has this many users and whatever. And I guess the writing was on the wall that they were not telling people that to brag. They were telling people that to get buyers, There was a lot of numbers being thrown around last year for their online components. How many users DC Universe has, how much growth it had, how much Free Realms users they had, and they were amazing numbers. And I was like, that's interesting that they're saying all this, and now it kind of makes sense, right? Hindsight's 2020. Now Columbus Nova comes in and buys it up, and then you wonder what's the future of some of these titles if they go multi-plat or if they decide to discontinue them, and that's what I worry about. It's like, the potential for everyone to play. It's like, PlanetSide comes to everything, which kind of diminishes Sony. Or if DC Universe gets canceled or mothballed into just PC only, and you never know what they're going to do. You don't know what these guys see in terms of their investment and their return on investment. It's like, which has the better potential? H1Z1, EverQuest, we don't know.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to interrupt, guys, but we got breaking news. Something devastating just happened.
Uh-oh.
So check this out. Does anybody know who Monty Ohm is? Out of curiosity, before I tell you. Does anybody here know or no?
No.
Okay, Monty Ohm is the director for Rooster Teeth. He's just died.
Seriously?
Dead serious. It just broke out on Twitter now. He literally just died.
Wow.
Like, that's a damn shame. In case you guys that are listening now didn't know, he's director of animation for Rooster Teeth. They're the guys that obviously make Red vs. Blue, also RBWY, Ruby, a whole bunch of different animations for online and different, media that are based off of video games or have like some sort of inspiration off video games. Most notably, Red versus Blue. That's a damn shame. Like my condolences to family and friends of them. That sucks.
Yeah, it does. Rest in peace.
Well,
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah, it's the website's offline right now.
Yeah, I looked it up as well. But to bounce off of what Celie said, there was two things. One, I wanted to clarify the whole thing where I said Sony would be just another Xbox. That would sound bad in that context, but what I mean is that's one less feature for the PlayStation 4 that kind of differentiated it from the Xbox. They're basically looking more and more similar every day with all these different things happening. And then the second thing. Oh, also the second thing. We don't know the direction they're going to take SOE in, or whatever the new name of the company is again. I forget it, but I hope that crossplay will be integrated more with a deal like this, where Xbox people can play online with PlayStation and PC as well. Because Sony and PC, they already had that going where they would play the games, and SOE was a big part of that. I hope that making this multi-platform will allow more crossplay because it makes sense. I still to this day believe Destiny should have been crossplay.
Uh-oh. Yeah, so people will complain even more. Which version is better, even though it's the same game and it looks
it works the damn same, it just looks a little different. They'll get over it. But did y'all have any additional points on this?
I did want to say something real fast. From what I saw from the report, there also was a statement that said now Sony Online games will be available on Xbox and mobile.
Mm-hmm.
So looks like Microsoft, they win something in this case, but I'm not really certain which games. I guess PlanetSide. I don't know what else. But
see, the company will allow it to go multi-platform, but will Microsoft embrace that though?
Well, I don't know why they wouldn't if they
get those gold subscriptions, man. Yeah, they embrace it. They're like, hell yeah, you need gold though.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. You got to wonder. All right, so with this deal, like we said, DC Universe, Warframe, stuff like that, you can play without having a PlayStation Plus membership. Is Xbox going to integrate the same way, or is it going to make you have gold in order to play?
Oh, please. They wanted you to have gold to watch Netflix. They only recently, it's only 5 months ago they lifted that restriction. So I think as much as they can squeeze out of you for that gold subscription, they will. Like, to have a full MMO running, they ain't going to let you run that on silver, man. They ain't going to let you run that for free.
We'll see how that goes. That makes me more worried about the crossplay stuff, because when you have little things like the subscription in the way, it's likely not to happen. So, but anyone got final words? Rich?
Well, again, I do give my condolences to the people affected by the Rooster Teeth news. But as far as Sony Online Entertainment, well, I guess we will see what happens as far as the future of where these games end up. It is bad news, and it makes me question what's going on with Sony, because just a lot of things that you have to think about. But we'll see how this develops. Again, this is just breaking news. Let's see what happens as the week goes on, if it intensifies or more stuff comes out.
Right.
Well, I wish there was more an announcement from Sony themselves saying what happened, and what's the final number? How much was SOE to sell? Like, what did they get out of it? Is that a short-term buyout? It's like, well, it puts us in the black. Is it like, well, we're gonna consolidate for future price? We haven't gotten anything. All we heard from SOE, like, woo, we're Daybreak now. We're gonna go multi-plat and things are awesome. So they sound happy.
Yeah, they definitely do. But yeah, the big question mark is in the air on Sony right now, and it's not looking good. I mean, like I said, the YouTube integration with the Vita, the Near integration, these are little things that may not have cost much to them before, but now it's getting a little pricey and they have to cut off limbs. So
I think the Near and the YouTube loss of that, support and stuff, I think that's like the more significant stuff, though, especially YouTube. I mean, granted, you could get YouTube wherever and such like that, but just the fact that they had an app on there that was like so easy.
I would say YouTube and Near integration would be more significant if it weren't the Vita. That's the thing, though. It's the Vita. So
It's just
I
the
think
handling of it. It was expected. I mean, it was long overdue. I mean, I wrote a whole editorial about like, fine, like that's okay because like it's not like we were all using near that much anyway. So
yeah, but the leading console in this console war just lost kind of
Whoa,
a group of console exclusives. I think that's a bigger deal.
whoa, whoa. Well,
Yeah. I mean, that's what it look. That's what it is. When you get down to the bare bones of it, that's what just happened. So, hey, it counts, man. JJ, final words.
as far as Sony stuff, like I said, I think that it's noteworthy but not super super significant. I think that it's something just to keep in mind. Like I said, it could be interesting to see a couple other MMOs pop up on like Xbox One or stuff, or even a brand new IP. The brand new IP MMO, that would be interesting and such. As far as the Monty stuff, I think tonight I'm gonna watch Haloid one more time. And if you guys don't know, he actually directed Haloid and created it. It's the Master Chief versus Samus Aran video. If you guys have ever seen that, it's a little CG, little short video. I think it's pretty cool. So I'm gonna watch that again. So I think that to me that news kind of takes a little more prevalence now because it just like literally happened. So
hey, I know we said final words. I gotta say one last thing though. One final thing. Shout outs to Carl Daniel because he made a very interesting comment, which I find very, very funny. He said it's all right that Sony lost Sony Online Entertainment because they can't get PSN to work now anyway. So I had to say that since he threw it out there. So
does anybody notice like during the Super Bowl PSN went down for like a brief period? Like I could not sign in to PSN. I don't know what it was. It was just like randomly just you couldn't sign in.
No, I did not have that issue during the Super
Yeah, I was just watching the Super Bowl, so I didn't pay attention to the PSN.
I mean, everybody was probably watching the Super Bowl and such, and I was doing the same. But I remember I tried to play a couple games, like during the time, like like halftime and such like that, and I could not sign into PSN. And it was funny because like not even like 20, 30 minutes prior, it was totally fine.
Gotcha.
Yeah, admittedly, I never seen a service go down for maintenance or just have so many problems other than them. Like their growing pains are just they're not even pains. They're like they need to be hospitalized for the things they have wrong with PSN.
They need to hire some of these people that are hacking them, which I know that's what they want. That's what they want. They want a job, man. They keep hacking you. Just hire them so they can fix it. And it's probably
yeah, hire the lizard, the 11-year-old lizard squad kids.
Heck yeah. But thank y'all for checking out this React podcast. We'll have more breaking news on thecoalition.com. And also go check out all of our other awesome things on there. Signing off.